Amy, every time I hear that, I kind of want to go into a Freebird riff. I know it's not Freebird, but, right? I mean,
yeah, I'm with you.
So hi, everybody. This is Wendy, Zier, and Amy Badass Cote, and I'm so happy she's joining me tonight. She's a little sick tonight, so we might have to cut her loose, so she can feel better. But she's my partner, my PIC, as you don't, I'm old enough to be your mother, but she's nice enough to let me be your big sister. So
stop with that.
Miss you, girl. I miss you. I can't wait to see you. Definitely when
we don't even know when that's going to be because you keep canceling. So.
Over Easter, and I'm coming. And then when I do that, if everybody wants, we'll live stream. When we do our kissing in the bedroom. If anybody wants a live stream, me and Amy kissing.
Oh, and many other things.
and the grosser part, eating what were those Chinese donuts that we like so much? So
no, those are not gross. They're so good.
Not gross. I'm like, but yeah. So, speaking of crazy lesbian action, let's make him uncomfortable. We're gonna bring on Joe, amazing guy Ridgely. Joe, where are you? I know, right? It's very important to make Joe feel as uncomfortable as we can.
I love Joe's face because he instantly knows what he's getting himself into.
He's a good sport. Joe, we love you so much, and you're always a good sport. And what can we say? Say it. Just say it.
Guys, I'm excited. Another episode of the Sticky Microphone. I mean, you guys have been kicking ass. Look at the last couple of weeks. Had David Howard Thornton on.
Our buddy.
And
Billy West. Billy West might be coming. I was trying to get him to come to Fear Fest, even though that's not really where he fits in. But he's definitely coming to Galaxy Con, which is here in Raleigh in the summer in July, which is a huge one. They've had it for a long time, and he's gonna. I'm gonna hang out with him when he's here. So Amy, if you come in, we'll. I told Billy, I was like, I'll make you dinner. He's just he's such a sweetie pie. So
I guess that's probably the only time I'm gonna see you. If I come in. So.
All right. So before we go, because I want Amy to be able to stick around. What?
Got some comments.
Go. Oh, okay. Make
Joe blush.
Yeah, thanks, Daniela. Jamie.
Hey, Jamie.
We love Jamie. She's our skin and brink babe, and she's been getting kind of a lot of attention these days. And she was nice enough to we did a Zoom session just to kind of be buddies and hook up. And she's my lifelong friend, my one of my few Canadian friends. So I'm happy.
Nice. Well, you're not going to like me now.
Why?
Because I got to plug a couple of things real fast.
Go plug, and then we'll get our wonderful, adorable guest on.
I thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, as many of you know, we will be at MegaCon on Saturday. We're going to be screening Harlow's Haunt at 5 p.m. And then afterwards, we're having a panel at 7 o'clock. Come join us. We're going to have giveaways. We're going to have cast and crew. And hey, I'm going to be there moderating it. So join us, please. And Sunday, we have David Lee Madison's The End of the Night with Megan. How would you pronounce that? Franish?
No, I can't. With the fonts, I can't tell, but it looks like Franish.
Okay, fair enough.
Franish. If it's French, she'll be like Franish, perhaps, or Franish.
I think she's actually Australian, so that doesn't help any. But if you guys don't recognize her, she was like one of the main female vampires in 30 Days of Night.
Oh my God. She was the lead one with that. She was like the lead man's girlfriend or something. Yeah. Oh my God. I love her. I want to do that. I want to be on there.
Yeah, she's a lovely lady. So.
Mm-hmm.
And then Monday night, we have Generation Movie and the Oscar Decade Cavalcade. They're doing one Oscar winner from each decade. They're on the 80s. There's a long story why they chose Terms of Endearment. So
interesting. All right.
We'll let them figure that out. But that's all I have. Thank you, ladies, for letting me do that.
All right. Well, I will then, because it's 10:05, and before we lose Amy, we're gonna get on our just adorable, and I say adorable because he's not like big and scary looking. He's like this sweet, adorable teddy bear, I think. And 6'4", but he's an amazing actor. He kind of does it all. Hey, Ken.
Hey, Ken.
He does it all. He's an actor, producer. I think he's a writer, although I gotta look.
He was a model.
He was a model, right?
And I'm going to ask him about that.
Yeah, interesting.
Am I being replaced? Just tell me if I'm being replaced.
No,
it's
never.
okay.
Nobody can replace. You're irreplaceable. Know that.
You're our top model. He also interesting, and I'll ask him about it a little bit. At one point, and I don't know if he still does, he had some sort of charity that he spearheaded, which it's something.
Yeah.
Giving dads a second chance. Dads.
Yeah, the deadbeat dads a second chance. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing. He has
talk to him about it.
He has an agency. He has a film production company. So this guy.
Okay, Joe. We know Joe.
Everything. What I wanted to make sure that you guys all know is he has kind of I thought it would be interesting to hear his journey, because I think everybody's journey is unique, and his was very unique. You have a lot of people in the film industry, indie and such, that are like, oh, you can only do it this way. And they get, like even in my industry, voiceover, you have to do it this way. If you don't do it this way, you're wrong. But he had, kind of he's like, look, this was my path. And I remember he did a post about it. So without any further ado, because I like to yap, let's bring on the great, the powerful, the adorable Kevin Wayne.
I don't have beard envy. You have beard envy.
You have beard envy.
Hey, Kevin.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for being here with us. So, Kevin, before we get you started and let you just go, is there anything, we talked a little bit about what's coming out. You want to kind of plug something or talk about some stuff that's coming up that you might want to get out there first?
Well, tomorrow in theaters nationwide is Malum. It's going to be in theaters nationwide. I play Nate. It's directed by Anthony DeBlasi from Welcome Villain Films. It premiered in LA and yesterday, and it's getting great reviews.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That's something to be really proud of.
Go see it. Yeah,
absolutely.
I usually play bad guy. I play a lot of bad guys because I'm big, and I'm either beating somebody up, but this is a little different, and I'm real thankful that Anthony kind of cast me. I did my initial audition, and then I had a Zoom call back, and so I'm excited to people can finally see a little range. So it's going to be different. So go see it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, we can't wait. I know that I wanted to ask about. There's one project in particular I happen to love, and I just, knew you from this one. I don't know if it was your favorite, but I think I told you, Miracle Workers. Is there a third season of that, if I can ask?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think they're working a third and fourth season, and they change. It's weird. It's like they change all the characters besides him and,
change
Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah.
I thought it was really ingenious. I don't know if you had seen this, Amy or Joe, but it was really a cute. It was like they had the same kind of circle of characters, and they would just change it. The time, the situation. It was once one was in medieval times, one was in current times, and it was all really interesting. And you had a part in. Was it one or two of them? I think it was one of the seasons.
I was in the first season, 4 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic, but
were you a bad guy in it?
Yes, I was. I was God's Punisher, and it's played by Steve Buscemi, and he was just awesome to work with.
Wow, he seems like a really decent human being. I mean, he seems, awesome. Okay, yeah. I mean, he looks like it. He looks like a good guy.
Yeah, the second day of shooting, they sent me the call sheet, and there's only 2 actors, Steve Buscemi, Kevin Wayne. I'm like,
that's like,
and he was so good to me. Like, he treated me so, he's just so giving. We sat in the chairs and talked, and we did our scenes. He was great. Great.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Steve Buscemi. It's funny because sometimes the creepiest actors end up being the nicest ones.
Well, he's in the group with like Adam Sandler and all those David Spade and things. And I don't know them obviously personally, but I feel like you can look at Adam Sandler too and see that like he's just the most down to earth person. I mean, look at the way he just dressed at an award show. You know what I mean? He was wearing sweats and tennis. He just doesn't care. He's worth $1 billion, but he's just like, anyway, he just seems like that really. And Steve Buscemi is with them. They do a lot of stuff together. So,
right.
Well, that's wonderful. So you had a positive experience. What would you say is your most well-known film as of now? Would it be before Malum, like The Magnificent Seven, or any that you think are your top, that people know you for the most?
I guess Outer Banks. That's a TV show, but there's several. I guess Outer Banks, and probably Chipmunks.
Yeah, that's right. He did one of the Chipmunks, Amy.
Yep.
Sorry,
I love the Chipmunks. Wait, I'm not going to do it, but I can actually do a really good imitation of the Chipmunks without doing anything to my voice. But
I am pausing the show until you do that.
Oh.
Are you ready? I'll work on it. Was that? I felt like that was kind of our.
I feel like you need to kind of Bee Gees it up a little bit, kind of like.
By the way, the thing, I feel like if I did it, it would get me laid. I don't know. I don't know if that would. What do you think? Like, is that sexy?
I mean, we can try it.
I was drinking wine, me and my sister in our 20s, and we went up to this guy. We were like, imagine it's a glass of wine. I'm like, would you? And we were in our 20s. Would you like think it was sexy if we did this? They walked away.
Nothing. I love you, but there's nothing sexy about that.
Not a thing.
Not a thing. Now let me ask you, Kevin. When you said you did the Chipmunks, who did you play?
It was a very small part, but it was in the so the Chipmunks were in the bar, and the inspector was following them, and then actually a buddy of mine, he had the other part. The chipmunk jumped in his beard, and then the inspector had a fight, and then he throws the inspector onto my table with my girlfriend. Beard goes all over us. Then I get up.
I remember that. Mm-hmm.
I go to the biker, and I was like, "Watch what you're doing," and we have all this confrontation. Then we start the whole fight in the bar.
Oh God, you're amazing. That's so awesome.
I look like a kind of a biker / Duck Dynasty mix. So.
Okay.
Surprise. I mean, typecasting though, but I mean, do you feel like
he has that look? He has like that biker / like you could be like a bouncer at a club or a bar. You know what I mean? Like no one's walking up to you. Nobody.
Well, since y'all brought that up, when I first started, I was clean cut, like really clean cut, and all I did was I worked a lot, but all I was doing was cop rolls and security guard stuff like that, and I got tired of it. So like it was just one-liners and stuff, and I was like, I really want to change, and so I had an audition for a film in Louisiana, and it was called Cutter. It's called Cutter. Cutter. An audition. It was for and the part was a backwoods gator hunter. But I was clean cut. I had a buzzed, I had no hair, like it's buzzed. I had a little shadow, and I booked the part. And then so I told the director, I was like, well, since I'm playing a backwoods gator hunter, I want to grow my hair out as long as I can and get real shaggy for the role. And they're like, cool. So I started doing that, and they pushed the film, and my agent and manager were like, you might want to, don't let it grow out too much. I'm like, well, and they kept pushing the movie, kept growing and growing. And then I started auditioning with that look, and I started like booking more. I started booking bigger, more meatier parts with this brand I was developing. And so I just kept letting it go. And it's probably the best thing I've ever done. And that movie never happened. So.
Oh, well, you know what? It still made you into the person that you are.
So it meant exactly.
And I don't know why I feel, and this maybe Wendy, this is just me, that when I look at Kevin, I'm like, I feel like you can play like a priest.
I guess like
I don't know why. I can see the whole outfit on, like, I don't know. You throw back your hair, like, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. I kind of get that vibe. Like you could play a priest or a pastor or a father or something.
I could see that. Or he could play a priest that comes to your house for your birthday, and he's like, "You are going to hell unless you sit. I give you a lap dance."
We know where your mind is tonight. I was talking about actual priest. Okay.
Bad Jew. I'm so awful. Sorry.
I rubbed off on you.
Poor Joe. Sorry, Joe. Are you he's
He
there
keeps backing in and out. He doesn't want anything to do with it.
I know. We like him, Kevin. It's very important to embarrass him because he's so sweet.
He's amazing.
We do that to him.
No, I do want to ask. Sorry, Wendy.
You go.
I want to ask you about. I was reading about you because I'm not a stalker or anything, but
we're not stalkers.
Are you still modeling?
I did some modeling about a year and a half ago for side-eye.
I think you should continue.
It was for aquatic apparel.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
Jams or something, or do you even have jams anymore? And Kevin, you know what I'm talking about. Jams. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah. Well, there's surfer board shorts, right?
Yeah.
Called them jams. Yeah.
Jim, they were called jams. I don't know.
Yeah.
Before
I had jams, and I had the Panama Jack shirt.
Panama Jack, jams, Bert's Surf Shop, which was more local here. I don't know if everybody had that. Remember Bert's Surf Shop? It's just
I know the Panama Jack, but I don't know the jams.
Jams were like these crazy colored, like I don't know if they were swim trunks or just short or surf shorts, but they were.
They're surfboard shorts.
Surfboard shorts. And
how long has that been around?
I mean, they were in the 80s, right?
Yeah, 80s.
When I was,
okay.
Did you graduate in 87?
87, yeah. You too?
Yeah.
2004.
Right.
2004.
When did you graduate?
2004.
Wow. Okay.
That's when my youngest was born. So, that shows you.
I'm trying to think right now. I have a son that's 27, a daughter 17, a granddaughter 2, and a grandson on the way this weekend. So,
congratulations.
Thank you. Unfortunately, I'm going to be in Orlando.
Oh, well, they should come see you. See their what do they call you? Grandpa? I mean, what are you called even?
I'm called Pop.
Pop.
You just don't look like a grandfather to me. You just don't.
Pop or Papa, take from my grandfather on the
I'm
Alaperti clan.
Glammy. I'm going to be Glammy.
How old are you, Joe?
I'm 47.
47. Okay.
So he's still a baby comparatively to us.
But you guys are talking about all this surfing crap, and I'm like, okay, the show of hands, who's actually surfed on this screen?
I think I tried, about knocked my tooth out. Other than that, never.
I had a surfboard rack on my motorcycle.
Wow.
Wow.
Cool.
So you surfed. Wow.
Oh, yeah. I used to actually be good looking and thin and surfed and skateboarded down here in Florida and, all that good stuff. Played football.
All right.
But anyway, enough about me. Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin. Yeah.
I got a question.
Yes.
Well, what was the most nerve-wracking thing you've encountered on set that was either going to make you go ballistic or...
Good question.
You mean like
well, something that either made you really uncomfortable or really pissed off, or you didn't quite understand why they just wouldn't adjust something for you, or make it pretty broad.
Good question, Joe.
Well,
yeah. So let me think. I mean, I guess it would be on Homicide Hunter. It was November and they put me in a creek, and like all day. So I guess I wasn't aggravated. Well, I guess I was aggravated. I'm like, it was freezing cold, and then I got out. Then we went to lunch, and then I dried off. I'm like, okay, that's over. He's like, oh, you gotta get back in. I'm like, why didn't, for two more little scenes too. I'm like, why didn't we shoot that before lunch? Why would you go? They were quick. I'm like, so I had to get in that freezing cold water again. So I guess, yeah.
I don't know how, and I'm going to say this because Amy, you've even experienced this. I haven't. I'm amazed at actresses and actors that are able to do some of the physical stuff that you have to do, whether it's being in bikinis and things when you're cold, being submerged in water and blood. You have, I mean, Amy, you've had blood all over you. It's cold and uncomfortable and being wet. I mean, you know, that's
well, when I did it, it was really warm out. So it was honestly, it wasn't even, you just don't want all that stuff on you. But when I did the trailer for the film, You're It, like I had to fall. I think I told you, Wendy, like 60 to 70 times, just fall. And the next day I could not move. I was just like, I work out every day. And I'm like, and I still never felt that way. I was like, I can't move. I cannot move my entire body. But I mean, it's definitely worth it.
Well, you know, so Kevin, one of the things I wanted you to kind of talk about is one of the things I think is very cool is Kevin, you know, does a lot of big budget stuff. I know you do indie things, but you do a lot of big budget stuff that, you know, is out of market that you shoot, but you're still able to live in Birmingham, which I think is that your hometown or nearabouts?
Columbiana.
Okay, so you wanted to stay there. So how was that? I mean, do you do a lot of? How are you able to kind of stay home based in the town you love and still work outside of it? Is it a lot of work, or are you able to shoot nearby in Atlanta? You know how does that work?
Well, I mean, I've never left. I mean, you don't have to be in LA or, you know, you don't have to be on the East Coast or West Coast to work. I mean, I guess when I first started acting, I started acting. My first film was Under Siege in '92. That's a long time ago.
Wow.
And a lot of my friends too. They wanted to go to LA, and they went to LA, and they like go to LA. And at that time, my father had just passed, and I stayed back to help take care of my mom. And you know,
sorry about that.
Oh, thank you. And I kept just like pursuing my career, and you know, I started booking stuff, you know, and it's like, you know, I just never had to leave. And all my friends that went to LA, none of them are pursuing acting career anymore because they got fed up with it and they quit. And I just stayed here with my roots, and you know, and then eventually self-taping came along, which of course I used to have to drive to Wilmington and then back home and then back and all that. But
so you know you remember the Finn Cannons, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, me and my mom are best friends with them.
Friends with Mark Finn Cannon.
Mm-hmm. I love Mark. I love Lisa too, but Mark was like my person. Like I loved him. He was just incredible. And every time we were at their house, it was like, I've seen all their awards. We would go upstairs, and then we go to their guest house where Ashton Kutcher used to stay. And of course, at that point, I was like 16, 17. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here. You know?
They were the be all end all back then in Wilmington. So
Oh, they did like all the One Tree Hill. I mean, they did all the casting here, especially. It's just like nobody else did it.
Yeah. But I just never left. And you don't have. I mean, you know, I have a studio now, and I self-tape here in my studio, and so I just never had to leave. You know, you can pursue your acting career from anywhere.
You know, a lot of people don't think that. I know a lot of people who've moved to Atlanta and LA, and they're not really even getting anywhere. And like you said, you don't. I understand like a lot of things happen in LA and places like Atlanta and things like that, but you don't have to leave where you're comfortable, where your home is, just to make that. I mean, look at you. I mean, you've done a lot of things, and you're at home. You're still at home.
Well,
so
it comes down to work ethic. I'm big on work ethic, and it comes down to that. So it doesn't matter where you're at, as long as if you have the right work ethic, you're going to make it no matter what.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about too, because, you know, you have a lot of things that you're doing. And I know this because I've worked with you on a few things through your agency. You have an agency, a film company that you do your own stuff, you know, so you do advertising, film of your own stuff. And then you work as an actor, you know, in bigger budget things. And probably I do think you still also do other indie stuff if it's worth your while. So how do you make enough? How do you have the hours in the day to do all that? Because I know you do a lot of work. I mean, you do a lot of stuff.
It's work ethic, and I've sacrificed a lot my whole life to get where I'm at. I really have. Some bad things, but I've sacrificed, and I love what I do. One, you got to love what you do, and like I'll wake up and like today I had 3 auditions I did, and then I worked for the agency for some stuff, and then it's every day, you know.
You're truly inspiring for sure. I do have a question.
Yes.
I know you've worked with quite a bit of people. Is there anybody in particular that you were not a fan of working with? Not that you didn't like them, but that you would just like, I thought it would be different, a different experience, you know?
No, I've never, you hear about the bad things on set. I've never really experienced. Everybody's always been good to me.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That's good.
Everybody I've ever worked with has always been great to work with. I've never had a problem with anybody on set ever.
So, you guys keep mentioning Atlanta or West Coast or East Coast.
Where are you going, by the way?
Florida, right? Florida is a huge hotbed.
Florida is blowing up right now.
Or just Orlando or everywhere else around.
Central Florida, Tampa, Miami, you name it. Oh, yeah. And hey, Terry.
Hey, Terry.
Speaking of an independent filmmaker in Florida.
I like Terry. He's my bud. Florida, he says.
There you go.
Weird stuff happens, and that's not being political. But
no, not at all.
No, but I mean non-political. Even like you hear about an alligator who has an affair with a frog, and DeSantis says no, you can't get married. That happened in Florida. Just saying.
Or Ohio.
And Jamie can't wait to come to. Can you please tell everybody who Jamie is, if you would, please?
Okay, so Jamie, who is my buddy, and by the way, Kevin, I wasn't sure if you saw this movie, but it's gotten a huge buzz. Skinamarink. It's an indie film, and it's Skinamarink.
Oh, okay.
Some people love it, some people don't, because it's a very certain kind of format. It's like shot in almost like a nightmare dream state, and you have to be willing to take that ride. But the people that love it because it brings back a lot of weird stuff, and there's a whole kind of backstory. Jamie was the mother in that, it's a very creepy movie. It's gotten quite a bit of attention. She's gotten a lot of love for it, and she's a great person, a VO talent like myself too. So we've already become friends. So just one of our buddies here. Kevin. After this, by the way, I don't know if you know this. You're forever in our family. And when I say in our family, I mean, we're a Jewish family. I send everybody matzo ball soup, and I make sure everybody gets home, right, Joe? I call him like, Joe, are you home? Did you get home before you go? You drove safely, right? Jamie, you home? You're okay? So we do that. And Amy and I will always check on you.
It's funny that you say that everyone gets soup, because not once since I've known you have I gotten any soup.
You didn't get the soup, Amy. I sent you the soup.
And I'm your best friend, so I don't understand that.
I'm waiting on the lox and cream cheese and onions and the bagel.
It's the matzo ball soup that's happening. Amy, I'll make you the soup. My mother makes matzo ball soup that is to die for. And it's and brisket. So everybody, come on over. I'll do the brisket, the matzo ball soup. I promise.
Wendy loves being a host, and she's the perfect host, and she loves to throw something like a party and have everybody at her house. And she's very good at it.
Thank you, Amy. I'm gonna bring you girls, your girls and Jackson over, and we're gonna have some, really good food. And maybe Joe and Kevin will join us. I know they'll drive in for us.
So. Alabama's not far.
Not far. It's not really that far. Like it's like 6. I think I talked to Chris McCann, who's a mutual friend of mine and Kevin. Chris is a fantastic VO. I feel like we talked about it. Birmingham is like 6 hours from Raleigh, because I think we looked it up at one time. I was gonna do like a seminar with him, a VO workshop.
Yeah. It's about 6
hours, something.
Okay,
like
see, I thought it was like 12 hours. I thought it was like way longer.
No, and
no, that would be me.
Yeah, Florida man.
Florida's a bit of a trek. I mean, I know from Raleigh to like Longboat Key is like 14 hours. Does that sound about right? I think something like that. It's long, but I don't drive. I like to fly.
Yeah, me too.
Fly.
I do not do road trips.
I've never flown.
You've never?
Oh,
what?
And I'm scared to fly anymore.
I don't like flying either. But you don't like to fly?
I've never flown. When I book a job in LA, I drive.
That is a long
Get
ass.
the hell out of here! Really?
That is, if I've ever seen someone with commitment, it's Kevin. I have never seen someone with such commitment.
I fly. I do not fly. I've never been on a plane.
Is it that you just don't want to, or is it like it scares you?
I don't know if it scares me because I've never been on one, but I just don't trust it. You know, like
yeah, a lot of people can't handle that their feet are not touching the ground. It's like you don't have no control.
Right.
Kevin, if you fly United, I'm there to comfort you. And when I say that, I don't know if you saw my post, but I do all the in-flight announcements for United Airlines. Yeah. So, and I do, and here's funny because I'm scared to fly, although I do it. I do flight training modules for pilots. That's something else I do. So I'm sitting there training these guys going, and I'm thinking, you're gonna die. I'm like, you're in the air, are you insane? But yeah, so I'm there to help people fly, even though I don't personally love it. But
I mean, if my manager called me and said, "Hey, you booked something in LA, you got to go," I would get on the plane. But normally, I have enough time to drive. I just don't like planes.
I don't blame you.
But you get to, when I go to LA, you get to stop. I'm making a vacation too. You see all kinds of things. You get to see the four corners of Winslow, Arizona, petrified forest, painted desert. You get to
now. Will you travel alone? Do you travel by yourself?
On track.
Sometimes, or my business partner. If we've got to LA in 2 days.
Really?
Oh,
yeah. Damn.
That is some quick ass driving. Yeah. Okay.
We switch out. Like he'll drive and then I'll sleep. Then he'll drive, and so.
Amy and I are like, we don't love to fly really both, but we do it. So we're like, you and I, when we go, we're going to take our Lorazepam Ativan together.
I'm fine. I talk to myself and I drink.
Or if I do, I'm not supposed to get it, but if I have my Ambien, that stuff, it'll put me out or I don't remember one thing that happened on the flight.
I'm telling you this, I'm not babysitting you. So you're not taking that.
You have
to.
Wait a minute. Isn't Ambien that drug that, people kill people in their sleep?
You don't kill people, but you do weird. Like I'll come downstairs and I'll be like, did I make muffins and write an opera?
You can't do that to me. You can't freak me out like that. I will hit you.
I had this one. So I took a flight, and then I'll shut up. It's not about me, but it is. I took a flight, and I get a call 2 weeks later from this lady, and she's in my contacts. Her name is Janine. She goes, "Hi, Wendy. I just wanted to call you to thank you." And I said, "Okay." And she goes, "When we were on the plane together, you taught me, I got my life together. I got a makeover. We went over my makeup technique. You told me how to assert myself. And now I have a boyfriend and I'm so happy." And I'm like, I gave this girl like these wonderful life skills and I was completely wasted. And I didn't remember one thing of it. So,
oh my God.
Maybe I'm fun when I'm like that. So, all right, but I won't do it. So anyways, Kevin, so traveling, you've got to drive, which is fun. Do you have like a camper or just old fashioned car?
I have a car. Just drive.
All right. Well, I guess that's some.
Now, if I had a car like a 60s Camaro or like a something like that, not my Jeep Compass. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? It's not going to make it. First of all, if I had a badass car or something, I may travel something like that, but not to California. No.
Do you know that like when I've had a RAV4 forever and I'm like, I feel like a RAV4 is cool, but my children have told me, no, a RAV4 is not cool. It's what every mom drives. But I'm like, I feel cool in my RAV4.
I love your RAV4.
Yeah.
What is your RAV4? Who makes that?
It's a Toyota. It's like an SUV, but I just like it. It's fun. I like the RAV4.
Yeah.
It fits you.
Thank you, Amy. Yeah, I love it. It's all I'll get. Kevin, so my big question to you is, because one of the things that we talked about was, and then Amy, I want you to ask a question. I feel bad. I just keep going off. But Kevin had a post a while back, and it wasn't like an FU post to other filmmakers. It wasn't. I want to clarify. But you know how in this business, whether it's voiceover business, indie film, act, whatever, there's always people judging, like, this is how you're supposed to do it. And, how dare you, veer from this. And I thought Kevin had a really good post, and it was like, look, some of you people think you got to do A, B, and C, and D. Look, this is my journey, and it worked for me, and I don't know if you remember that post, but can you kind of talk about how your journey was with what you're doing and how you've been successful? Because it wasn't necessarily, oh, I got an agent and now I'm auditioning. You made a lot of things happen for yourself. Like, you did a lot of YouTube stuff. Is there anything you talk about? Because I thought it was a good journey and a really good post.
I don't remember that post, but
sorry. I did.
Are you talking about acting, directing, or producing? Like, so
probably all of it.
Everything's different. Like, my acting career is totally separate. I mean, it's almost like having different jobs. My acting career is totally separate from my film studio, my directing, and that's kind of total separate from my advertising agency.
Okay.
So, but we spoke the other day, and I started making films in 1997 because I couldn't book when I did a movie in 1992 called Under Siege, and I kind of Forrest Gump my way into that movie. And and after that film, I was like, because when they made me I had really long hair, and let me go back. So when it was way back in 92, and that's when I was modeling, and the lady that was kind of trying to train me as a model or get me, she's like, they're shooting a movie down in Mobile, let's send your headshots down there. I said, no, I haven't had any acting training yet, because there's a guy coming in to teach some acting, but I hadn't got those classes yet. And one afternoon I was watching Oprah Winfrey, and the phone rang, hard line, and I answered and said, hey, this is the casting director for Under Siege. Would you want to come down and audition? And I didn't know what Under Siege was. And I was like, well, how'd you get my number? And there's a silence. She's like, sir, you're Kevin Wayne? I said, yeah. She said, I'm just asking you, the director wants to see you tomorrow. Can you get to Mobile from Birmingham for the audition? I said, and I was like, well, how'd you get my number? And she was like, you could tell she was getting aggravated, and she was like, look, do you want to come or not? I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. I didn't know. So the lady had sent my pictures without me knowing it. So I drove down there, and it was Andrew Davis was directing it. And so I go into audition, and they handed me the lines right before I went in. I went in there, and I sucked. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any training. So she came out. She said, he really loves your look, but you're not really ready. But they are looking. We need some Navy swabbies. She said, but we need a lot of them. She said, it pays. I said, does it pay? She said, yeah, it pays. I said, okay, cool. And she said, but you got to get your hair cut off. And she said, you got to get it done now. I was like, and at that time I didn't have a job. I'm like, all right, I'll do it. Maybe it'll be a change. So I got in the line, and I was about to go in they were just like buzzing the guy's hair. Like,
oh my God.
And I was about to turn the corner. She comes running down there, and she grabs me. She says, come back to my office. So I'll go back to the casting director's office. She says, he forgot there's a role of a Russian terrorist. He has no lines. It's kind of like a feature background. And I'm like, does it pay? And she's like, yes, it pays even more. She was really getting aggravated with me because I didn't know. I was just like, am I getting paid? I need a job. I didn't.
You were a novice.
Exactly. Okay. So she was like, yes, it pays. She said, you get fed every day. We put you up in a hotel room, and it pays like X amount of dollars. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. She said, be for 2 weeks. I'm like, okay. And so I started working. It ended up being like, I worked on that movie like 8 weeks.
Wow.
And at 22, I was like, man, this is pretty cool. I was making that money, and it's 22, and I was just chasing Steven Seagal around with a toy gun. So I'm like, I got through with that film, and I'm like, that was so easy, to get in that film. I'm going to start working every film I can. And so when I came back to Birmingham, I started like really trying to pursue the career. And that's when I'm like, when the wall came in, like, wow, I really gotta, I wasn't getting anywhere. Like, hey, I was a featured extra in Under Siege. Like, we don't care. He's like, it really didn't have any value. And so I was like, well, I've got to really learn how to act. So I started taking classes and all that stuff. And I've never looked back. And so around 97, 98, there was a time where I was getting really big, and I still had a baby face, and I couldn't book anything. I couldn't get any kind of role. So I'm just geared different. I'm like, well, I'm not waiting around. I'm gonna start making my own films. So I started making my own films. I made 2 films back in like '98, and they're like action films, and they're horrible, and nobody will ever see them. But I'll never change it for the world because that was my film school. You know, I fucked up a lot of shit. You know, I made a lot of mistakes, but I would do it all over again because, you know, that was my film school.
Yeah. That's interesting. So in a way, it was a little bit backwards because you had a fantastic opportunity handed to you, maybe from people, you know, from your look or your modeling. And then you kind of had to work backwards because you're like, oh God, this is great. Okay, now I need to learn to act. And now I need to kind of get, so I think that's fantastic. And it just shows you how everybody's journey is different. I mean, you can't, you know, to get from point A to point B, sometimes you have to go over here and then down here and then over here, around back and then over here. And, you know, it's always, the path is never straight. It's never necessarily done because you're always learning. You're always going back a little bit. You might pick up some new experiences, but I think that's fascinating and that's valid. And I'm really glad you shared that. I mean, then another question is, what's some advice you might have to actors, to writers, to directors going into this business that are new or green? You know, what's something that you'd like to say to them? Hey, here's something you should do or not do or listen to or don't listen to.
Well, actors, it's real simple. I teach acting classes one time a year because I don't have time. I teach like a 6
Oh, I didn't know that you did that. I didn't know that.
But my number one thing is brand. Like you're selling yourself. It's any, like if you're selling anything in any kind of business, you're selling a product or something, and it's got a brand. So that's what you sell. So when you're selling yourself, like I have people asking, well, I can't get an audition. Like, well, like what's your brand? Like, I don't know. Well, if you don't know, they're not gonna know. You got to know. Like if you don't have one, build one. You've got to build a brand. You got to have something to kick that door down and get in. Mm-hmm. So actors, brand, filmmakers, just make film. Just start making films. So write a script, make film. You know, whether it may be horrible, it may be great, whatever. Just start making film.
I agree.
And I'm not. I heard you mention, Wendy, about writing. I'm not a writer. I'm a concept. Okay. Yeah, I'll have a concept, but I'll hire a screenwriter. I'm not a writer.
When for the stuff that we do, the copy even, do you write that or no?
Steven and I both kind of work with that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I want to put that out there. You know, in addition to everything, I do copy. I write copy. Just saying.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I did for a long time. Just that as head copywriter. And so, you know, I do stuff for Kevin sometimes. So, you know, happy to do it. Well, I don't know, Amy, what are some questions that we have about? I feel like we should ask good questions about hair products and beard products. Like,
yeah, what do you use in your hair? It's luscious.
Hair, it's so pretty.
I have no idea. I just wash it.
Men can be like, oh,
beard though. That's a different story. The beard.
That's what I hear. It's yeah.
Yes, that and is that it's pomade.
Huh?
Okay, it's pomade. Show us how. Would you give us a little taste? Show us how you use it. Go ahead. Show the world how you use it. I don't know.
I can't over put it in there.
What happens if you over put in pomade? What could happen?
Probably becomes a sticky microphone.
You get a beard like mine is what happens. All right.
Oh my God.
Well, look at mine. Look at his.
Well, yours is shorter. Is that what you mean?
Well, actually, no, it's because I use too much product. And
I actually cut mine. Like I cut that much off like 2 days ago. So
I just didn't know men use product in their beards. I didn't know that.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
It's a big industry, I think, too, right? With the beard stuff. Yeah.
We use those. They're the best.
And it's funny because like when they take showers in their hair, they're like, oh, I mean, I use dial soap. You know, I just use like anything.
No.
But I use like the best beard stuff. You know?
Yeah, my first husband, and he's from Holland, so they have different things about cleanliness, if I can just say that. If he did wash his hair or wash, which was rare, I had to really basically, he would use, I think, like soap, like bar soap in his hair. It was bizarre. I was like, do you not use shampoo? He goes, I don't need that. He's Dutch. I don't need that. What are you talking about? I'm like, you're disgusting. It's just, but that was kind of interesting.
He was cleaning though. I mean, he was using soap.
Right, but I mean,
see me. I use like $30 a piece shampoo and conditioner in my hair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just the product is important. But isn't it funny? I like that we all have a little bit of vanity.
I have a lot. It's the problem. But I'm also the best person in the world. Okay.
She's got a heart of gold. Look, the outside wrapper of her happens to look amazing, but the inside, that is a strong, powerful woman with a heart of gold. So,
How did y'all meet? You and Amy.
Oh, that's a good
wow.
story. All right, do we have time? Okay, here we go. I'm going to start it, Amy.
Go ahead.
Finish it. So about 2 years ago, I had just started my journey about getting back on camera. And there was a thing that came up at North Carolina Filmmakers. It was like, we're doing a fan film, Friday the 13th, and we need somebody to do a Pamela Voorhees part. This was the first time I did a Pamela Voorhees, the mother of Jason voice. So I sent it in, and the guy's like, yeah, I love it. That was great. I'm going to, play it for my producer and blah, blah, blah. Well, it turns out it was this guy's film, but Amy was running the show. And it turned out that this guy had a sick love friendship with Amy. He cut to now, he's a pedophile and he's in jail.
Wow.
We didn't know, but we almost worked on this film together. And Amy, you tell the rest, I guess, because there's.
Oh, that's it. I mean, I'm happy for him just because he brought me and Wendy together. Other than that, he can kick rocks because he's just
he's disgusting because he is a pedophile and it's true and it's proven and he's in jail. But we got to be friends. Like we got on the phone.
And I knew instantly when we spoke on the phone, I was like, we are going to be best friends until the day we stop breathing. It just is.
We are like sister. I mean, like there's just this bond. So yeah, that's how we roll. We have so much fun together. We love each other. We don't, we at least if we don't talk on the phone every day, we voicemail each other every day. So girls are, guys are different. And that's asking you, Kevin, do you have like a BFF?
Yeah.
No, men are different. They're like, nah.
Yeah. I mean, we don't talk every day.
No, but do you like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to go to the mall? Let's eat cookie dough out of the thing and talk about boys and give each other, like, that's not like that.
No.
Wendy, we don't do that.
We do.
Wendy, what is that in the background you got going? What is that?
Oh, that must be, he has like a guy in a shirt. Is that what you're talking about? It's like
the blinking lights and
your background, Lynn.
Oh, my background. So I had gotten this thing and it was like meant to be like a thing to kind of look cool. And it ends up looking like a shower curtain. I mean, I got like this background and I put these lights. It was supposed to look cool. And I'm like, yeah, it looks like a shower.
I thought you were just having a party in your bathroom. I wasn't saying anything. I was like, okay, just in case,
It's such low rent type of,
No, I love it.
It's cool. No, it's awesome.
Thanks. You guys are all invited to come to a party in front of my shower curtain. Yeah.
So how did y'all meet Joe? How did y'all meet Joe and this come about?
So Joe could come on, but Joe, I had done a few shows. Joe, you can tell the story. Actually, I'll be quiet.
Oh, you were on David Lee Madison's The End of the Night, which is on the Indie Escape Network. And it was a night I was absent. I was actually at a convention, and I think, who was it? CJ took over for me that night.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Was it CJ?
I think so. But I was
there.
I don't remember. It was the first time, but I was on his show as a guest, and then I came back to co-host a few times because we had so much fun together. So.
Oh, yes, and a top 10 list, and yeah.
It was fun.
So
and I met Joe through Wendy.
Right.
Okay.
And I met Amy through Wendy.
Go figure.
Kevin, so acting, directing, which is it and why?
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, man. Come on.
Oh, yeah, your fave.
Which do y'all think?
I would say directing.
I would say acting because it's a passion.
He's so good at both. And I know that and I've seen, to a lesser extent, with commercials and all the things that he puts together. And I know he likes that. but I'm going to say acting. I'm going to say acting too. What do you think?
God damn.
I get asked that all
Sorry.
the time. No, you're.
Damn it! That was a cookie cutter question.
They were. Yeah, I get asked that all the time. Like they're right there. Like directing and acting is right there. But if somebody's like Joe said today, like, dude, you got to pick one for the rest of your life, it would be acting.
So when you have you ever acted in a film and directed it at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Is that really? I heard that's like the most difficult thing to do.
James does that. It kills.
Not at all. If you do the correct pre-production, it's not hard at all.
Mm.
The film that's coming out, I'm not sure when it's coming out. Hellbilly Hollow. It was like it's coming out sometime this year. I played Tickles.
Tickles.
This big horrible clown. It's coming out this year. Directed that and I was in it. And then Blood Type, that's on Amazon Prime. I directed that and then I was in that as well.
That's amazing.
It's wonderful. Yeah, I mean, well, Amy and I can't wait to be in your next blockbuster.
There's a lot of things coming. A lot of things.
Sure.
Works. Yeah, I got 2 horror films that are in the works, and I have a TV series that I'm pitching to Netflix called Swim Away. They're all in development, so we'll be shooting soon.
That's amazing. That must feel so good.
And you should be proud of yourself. I mean, anybody who sacrifices and works as hard as I know that you do, because I've even, I've seen stuff even through your agency, the amount of work and things that you do just for that, which is most people's full-time job. So knowing that you do, threefold like that is pretty amazing. And, I have to, that's what, you're one of, I would think one of the harder working actors, directors, producers out there. So
thank you.
You win the award.
I mean, those sayings like if you love what you do, you're not working. So I guess it's true because like when my feet hit the floor, I'm coming to the studio, doing an audition or working on one of my client stuff or, doing prep for one of my productions. So it doesn't bother me, so.
Well, so Joe, did you have a question? I saw you kind of talking.
No, I was actually going to politely say we got to start wrapping it up. I mean, Kevin, the man who wears many, many hats. If folks wanted to follow you on social media and your projects, where would they go?
Facebook. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can also go to my IMDb page and see what's coming up. I'm in Twisted Metal coming up. I play Grady. I'm in with Anthony Mackie. Fast Charlie with Pierce Brosnan coming up.
Oh wow.
Adam the First with David Duchovny. I'm actually my scene's not with David, but he's in the film. But that's all coming out. A lot of stuff.
So proud of you.
I mean, that's incredible. And please consider coming back when a movie comes out and you want to promote it. We're right there with you, brother.
Absolutely. We are right. We are your supporters.
We're like your personal jock straps, but better.
I knew you were going there.
A little too far.
We're going to be your groupies. We're your groupies.
And don't forget tomorrow, Malum Nationwide.
Yeah.
I play Nate, Anthony DeBlasi's remake of The Last Shift by Welcome Villain Films.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Terry saying, great, fun show, everyone.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.
Terry, yeah, I wanted to let, so if I can, Kevin, I knew you before anyway. You're awesome. I'm so happy we finally did this, that you're on and, come back again. Because
thanks for having me, all of you. Thank you.
Of course, this is fun. We laughed, we cried, better than cats.
I'm glad that we didn't make you feel too uncomfortable.
Well, that's why we're trying to get them off now. I mean,
I wanted to make it feel uncomfortable. Did we not succeed? Damn it.
When he comes back on the show, we will succeed.
Awesome. Okay. All right, we will.
Until next time. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank y'all.
Well,
man, what a great guest.
He was amazing.
be fun. I told you guys, I'm like, he is awesome. We've talked for quite a while, a little bit. We finally got to chat. Like I did a project for him, and he's just awesome. He's fun. He does it all, and he's just a good person to know.
Oh no, you don't understand. I'm gonna go like buy $10,000 worth of that beard product that he freaking.
Yeah,
that's what Joe took from this podcast was what he was using with his beard.
Yes.
Love
Did you see that beard?
It's like its own.
It's magical. He looks like a Titan god.
I mean, I could fall asleep in that.
Like a Viking warrior. I mean,
but so do you, Joe. I don't know why you think you don't have hair on your face.
Well, thank you. I mean, it makes a big difference once you put $80 worth of dye in it.
Well, wait, Joe, because it's kind of dark. Where does your beard end? I can't totally tell. Can you?
You're doing good.
Love it.
You see, the whole reason behind it was to cover up the chins, so it's just one chin.
Now, is that like a man's goal was to have it like 2 feet from their chin?
Hey, it's a goal of mine now.
I mean, yeah, looking at his, hell. I'm about to go buy that pomade.
This is my first go, and this is since November, so I'm losing.
I think it looks good. And
I do too.
I want to let you guys know, Amy, I know you stuck around. I know you were not feeling well. So thanks for let's see, did anybody get the name of that beard stuff? Oh, he told us it was that pomade, and it
was it unusable on something?
I'll clip it out and then we'll plug him for that.
Well, yeah, you know what? I'll find out what it was because he took it out. So
Ken, say it ain't so.
No, we love beards on this show. We're beard supporters.
You're not a beardo anymore, Ken.
A beardo.
Wow. On that note, all right. So, ladies, what's coming up for the sticky microphone, and what's
so? Did you talk to him about Damien?
Well, Amy is trying to get Damien. I know we've had David on, of course, but Amy is.
Damien Leone.
Actually, he is. He wrote me tonight, and he said he's going to get back to me ASAP this weekend about coming on next week.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Okay.
And I just thought because we had David on, why not the director or the writer and the director of the film, Terrifier?
Okay. Awesome that he's going to do it. All right. Oh,
I mean, come on. It's just amazing.
Thanks, Amy.
Just ask him if he remembers being on the very first online horror convention.
Oh, that was yours.
Oh yeah, we had the whole panel. We had Damien, we had the brothers, we had David, and we had Phil.
I just think that all of the cast and crew is, I mean, I know from talking to Damien, I mean, it's, the Terrifier 3 is going to be nothing short of like brilliant. I mean, he hasn't told me anything, but I just know by the way he talks, like, wow, I just can't. And we've seen the second one, so I just can't wait for the third one.
I know he's. I mean, look, I liked the first one, which technically is the second one, right? Because it was like all
Hallows Eve,
which I didn't like that one as much. But the first Terrifier, I was like, I love this film. I don't know why.
I'll tell you why. It's because it's not just let me just go around slashing bodies. There's actual story to it. There's a plot. That's what gets me about the second one. It's even more of a story. You kind of fall into it.
The first one, it was, I mean, I don't want to say there was not a story, but it was a little like this kind of, it wasn't like the second one that way.
All over the place a little bit, but in such a good way.
And I'm sorry, Art the Clown. Like, you're like, he is the slasher and horrible, but I like him. But
he's hot.
He's hot. He's hot. So,
yeah. Like, walk towards me with that smile, shall we?
I know, right?
And we're going to see who's doing the killing.
No, I feel the same way about Kane Hodder, trust me.
Oh, same.
On that note, you guys, what a great show. We wrapped another one. I always, I have fun with you both. Ames, I love you. Joe, you're so great, and you're a great sport because, Amy and I love teasing you and trying to embarrass you a little bit, but you're the best.
Well, I appreciate that, ladies.
You are the best. And I'll keep you guys posted about Damien. Like I said, he said he's going to write me ASAP about. He said he didn't forget about it. He's just been super busy this week with, they're at the con, or they were doing a bunch of stuff this past weekend, and with everything going on
right now again.
Yeah, exactly. So he says it's been a really crazy week, but he said he will definitely get back to me ASAP.
Love to have him on. So
all right. So I'm sorry. Let's go with Amy. Where can everybody find you on social media if they'd like?
Well, if they don't know by now, well then what am I doing wrong?
All right. So Wendy, no, I'm kidding.
No, I have a Facebook, Instagram, TikTok under Amy Cote. It's just that simple. IMDb, Amy Cote. You can find me all over those places.
Nice. And Wendy.
Well, I'm not as great about certain social medias. Facebook, Wendy's ear. I'm a mom. I'm active on Facebook. That's how. I do have an Instagram and I do have a TikTok, I think. I'm never on there. My site, just for my voiceover for the most part, is wendyvoices.com. If anybody's interested in that, or coaching or any of that stuff, I have an IMDb, Wendy's ear. Just finished wrapping for that fun movie, Side Effects May Vary, in Ohio. I'm excited about that.
And you will never get a better voiceover coach than Wendy's ear. Never.
Ready for all your corporate needs, whether it's on hold or broadcast, or if you need VO for a film, I'm your gal. I have my pro home studio, so I'll do it for you. And
you know what's funny, Wendy, is and Joe, is that when I see Wendy, I always want her to write like a script or a page of like lines. So I'm like, I want you to. I just name off something. I'm like, hey, talk about toothpaste. Talk about, because I love hearing her voiceover voice. It's sensational. I just fucking love it.
It just is very different. Yeah. Thank you for flying American. Please put your trays in the upright position.
I mean, doesn't that just turn you on?
Thank you. Oh, Amy, I'm so hot. So yeah, and I'll do Siri. Joe, thank you so much for the wonderful. I can't do it. I'm making.
She's getting me going. She's getting me going.
Oh yeah, like Amy and I talk like that to each other in bed. So.
All right, so I'm gonna wrap this up now before I'm getting the vapors.
I'm getting the vapors. It's just, we love you, Joe. So
we love you, Joe.
Thank you everybody for a wonderful night. Joe, bring us home. Wrap it up.
Well, okay, I'm going to plug myself as well.
Please. Oh, yeah. Joe, of course. Fuck you, Joe. You're amazing.
No, I'm not plugging me, plugging us, actually, the network. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, if it's your first time tuning in, please go to the Indie Escape Network on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Please. Thank you. And other than that, I think we're going to kind of go.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night.
They say good night, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Who the hell is Gracie?
I know. I don't know.
All right. We'll talk about it next time.